Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us here today. We are going to be highlighting another organic influencer. I'm going to introduce her in just a bit, but just let you know we are going to have, we're delighted to have an Olympic winner here with us today, somebody who I've traveled the world with presenting Essante Organics, person who sticks to it, consistent work, and never, ever quit. So with that, I would like to introduce Maja Servé.
Hi, thank you, Dr. JJ. It's always awesome to hang out with you and get to share things and just hear your insights on things. So thank you for having me, and I look forward to spend another time with you here.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you and learn from you and network with you as well, Maja. So let's get right into it, Maja. So what attracted you to network marketing?
Well, when I first moved to the US, I'm originally from Denmark and then traveled the world between that and came to the US. I was introduced to a gentleman called Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor was very much into network marketing when I met him. But he would very often tell the story of when he was first introduced to network marketing and how he was ridiculing it, and how he said that um, when you are introduced to something that you don't understand or don't know, you very often tend to ridicule it. And then the person that introduced him to it started talking more about it and telling him about it. And he then basically discovered it and researched it and found that it was the most honest and best way of producing a sales force and to promote products. I'm like, he was very often talking about how if you go and watch a movie, you love the movie, and you then go and share that with your friends and family, the movie industry is not going to pay you. They just thank you very much, cash in, and good for them. Same if you go to a restaurant. Here, you go to a restaurant, you like the food, you like the service, and you refer it to your friends and your family, and you don't get anything for it. You might, if you know the owner, get a free meal, but that's it. And so here with network marketing, you find a product you love, you share it with your friends and family, and you actually get paid for that. And not only do you get paid from what you referred, also if they referred, you get paid for that. So he felt it was the most honest distribution of products that there was in this world. And so he taught me about this, and I fell in love with it. And that was basically Bob Proctor that got me into network marketing.
That's wonderful. And you actually worked with them, right?
I did. I'm actually certified as a life coach with Bob Proctor because I really saw a difference in my life. He changed my life, but also his teachings changed the life of my students and my team members. And so I totally joined and just had to learn and be able to promote what he was teaching.
That's excellent. So now you learn about network marketing from the world famous Bob Proctor.
Mhm.
And then let me ask you this before we even get into why this company, because I mentioned world famous. Give us a little history on your success outside of network marketing because you've got a very impressive resume.
Well, I actually moved to England to become an architect. Well, that didn't happen. I was doing ballroom dancing as a hobby, and after 2 years of doing it in England, my teacher asked me to dance with him, and 8 months later, we were fourth in the world in ballroom dancing, and basically traveled the world, coach all over the world. And I've been blessed with some amazing students that have become world professional champions, both in Latin Americans dancing and in standard ballroom dancing, and also in the American styles, American rhythm, and American smooth. So um, it was definitely a world of glamour and traveling the world and meeting people from all walks of life and helping them enjoy the dancing.
And that made you perfect for this because, as Angie and I have traveled the world with you and done presentations abroad, it's just not only been a lot of fun, but also just a great mission to be able to help people around the world. And
Mhm.
you speaking so many languages has always been a benefit too. So that's wonderful as well.
Yes, yes, it is helpful, and the dancing again, it helped me um, be able to not only understand different languages, but also understand the cultures of different countries, so that it's easier to relate to them, and it's easier to communicate and basically understand how can I be a better service to them? How can I provide them with a solution to an issue they're having? So it's, knowing the cultures is definitely a way to be able to communicate better.
And it's interesting that you say that, understanding the cultures, because I remember the very first time we met, and this is really a
Mhm.
kind of a great segue to another question that I want to ask you. The very first time I met you, you actually had driven up from the southern part of Arizona to
Mhm.
meet with me and learn more about the company. And you told me a story about your grandfather. So, that being said, why Asante Organics?
Well, that whole thing started in 2011. A friend of mine introduced me to ewg.org/skin deep. I was at the time buying all of my um, personal care products from health food stores, and I thought that they had some morals to only have good products. And she suggested that I look all the products up that I was using and see how they would score. And to my horror, I saw that many of them were like total toxic and should not be put on the skin. And I was taught from a child that you should put on your skin what you can eat. And so I'm like, this is not working for me. So I started researching, looking for a company that had toxic free product. And that led me to a website called the Toxic Free Foundation. And at the time, they had a list of all the companies that they felt of that they had tested and that had passed their test and was toxic free. And there were 6 companies listed, and I didn't know any of them. And most of them just had facial things, and I wanted more than just a facial cream. I wanted a whole line of personal care products, and if there was other products in that same product line, that would be a benefit. And Essante was one of them. And so I looked at it, and I'm going like, I got to get with this. I got to do this. And then this was in November. The holidays came and didn't do anything about it. Come January and beginning of February, I had 4 trips listed to do in coaching dancing. The first trip was a nightmare. My flight was delayed overnight, and because it was weather, I had to pay for the own hotel room. I lost a day of teaching. They lost my luggage. So I didn't get my luggage till I actually came back to Tucson. And it was a nightmare. In everything that could go wrong did go wrong on that trip. And when I came back from that trip, I said to myself, I need to change. I need to stop traveling as much and do more that I can do from home. And so I went on Craigslist, and there was this ad that was about an organic company looking for team members to join them and to work with them. And I'm going like, oh, I'm very much into organics. That would be something I need to consider. Well, I packed for my next trip, went on the next trip, and the next trip was not as bad. Still delays. It was in the winter month, but it was not bad. I came back and I'm going like, I still need to look at this. So I again looked at Craigslist, and the same ad came up. And I'm like, I think I need to do something about this. But I was getting ready for the next trip. Went on the next trip, and next trip was actually fairly good. So no complaints, but came back and still had that first trip in mind. And so I looked on Craigslist again, and the same ad came up, and I'm going like, I need to do something. So when I come back from my next trip, I need to take action. Went on my next trip, and again, another trip where I was delayed. And this time I didn't arrive till like well after midnight, and had to get up early the next day, and weather was miserable. And I'm going like, I want to stay home. Came back from that trip, and I had lost the information I kept from the last Craigslist ad. But luckily, I get on Craigslist again. This is our fourth time.
Right.
And there it was again, the same ad. So I called up, and they set me up with a meeting with you. So I drove up from Tucson, and I got to the front door, and it said Essante Organics. And I'm like, where have I seen that before? I've seen that because the accent E, the last E, is the same as in my name. And my grandfather had talked about that I would be involved with a company with that last letter. And so I'm going like, there's something about this. I walked in, and I had a conversation with you, JJ. I went in, you talked to me about it, and I'm going like, I don't know, it's from the Toxic Free Foundation. This was the products I originally wanted to join, and now it's a business, and it's network marketing. And then when you told me about the compensation plan, I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. No other company that I'd been with or looked at, I've looked at a lot of companies, none of them, absolutely none of them were having a compensation plan like that. There's only 3 levels. You have silver, gold, and platinum. And on the highest level, you get 100% matching check. I'm like, unheard of. I'm going like, and your points, your volume doesn't go away by the end of the month or the end of the year or wherever have you. I'm like, I was blown away, and I signed up right there. I got the biggest package I could get and bought some extra stuff. I went home, got a big garbage bag out, took all the things I had, threw them in the bag, replaced them with Essante, and I've been with Essante since.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's
So
great.
I came
And
on it both from the product and from the business.
okay, good. And then from a product perspective, then, and I know this is going to be a difficult question since you love your organic and toxic-free products. What is your favorite product?
I yeah, I don't have one. I think the best thing is to give a little testimonial on one from different product categories. And the first one I want to start with is the B tabs. Growing up, I was very allergic to pets, any pet, and pollen. So my parents would literally, before we would go and visit somebody, my parents would call and ask, do you have pets? And if they did, we wouldn't go. If it was pollen season, I wouldn't go outside. If the grass was cut, I wouldn't go outside. So I was trapped indoors in a environment with no pets. And I'm like, they were like taking care of making sure that I was not around anything. Even going outside, just passing a pet or a horse, I would start sneezing, and my throat would swell up, and it was serious. And I started taking the B tabs, and I'd been told that you might see a difference with allergies. And so I was still asking people, and then a friend of mine, a Danish friend of mine here in Tucson, had a get together, and I forgot to ask if she had pets. Went there, and I was sitting talking to another friend, and I saw a cat walk across the room, and I'm like, whoa. And then a dog ran across, and I'm going like, there's something off here. Am I not seeing things? So I got up and walked to the host, and I said, do you have pets? And she go, yeah, I've got 2 cats and a dog. And I'm like, my throat has not swollen up. I'm not, my eyes are not watering. I'm not sneezing. I'm like, I don't have allergies. Well, a few years after that, I got a dog, and I have a dog now, and it's a Mastador, so it's a mix between the Black Lab and a Mastiff, and a lot of fur and things like that, and I have no allergies. I go outside any time of the year, no allergies. I've gone to Denmark, and my mom used to always greet me in the airport with a box of tissue. She doesn't do that anymore.
Wow.
Um, it has changed my life. The B tabs have changed my life with allergies. Absolutely changed my life.
Yeah, that B Natural is a really powerful product. It literally contains every nutrient known to sustain life. And we get
Mhm.
tons of testimonials. And that was one of our very first few products. I mean, we've got well over 100 some products, but we get testimonials all the time with people talking about hot flashes, allergies, energy, immunity. I mean, it's quite an extraordinary product. And I'm so happy that you had such great results with it. I mean, life-changing
It's
results.
yeah, it's I love that. Then if we go to another product, the shampoo. Being a dancer, you backcomb your hair, you use all kinds of chemicals and so forth. And so my hair is very fine, and it was very brittle, and it would break all the time. And um, I I would lose hair. I would comb it, and I would have to clean the brush because of all the hair that came out. I don't know how I had any hair left. I would wash my hair, and it would be in the drain. I had to clean it every time. I would wake up, and there was a whole bunch of hair on my pillows I had to clean. And I started using the shampoo. And another thing, if I just go back, another thing with my hair was that if I was judging, I had to wash my hair midday because it would turn greasy within a short time. And I
Wow.
had to wash my hair to get ready for the evening session. Otherwise, it would be one, greasy hair stack up there.
Mhm.
And so when I then started using the Essante shampoo, after I used it for about 2 weeks, and I was getting more greasy hair. And I called a friend of mine that's a hairdresser in Denmark, about something else. And I talked to him about this, and he says, your scalp have probably been stripped from all its oils every single time you washed your hair. So there's an overproduction of oils, of natural oils, and your body's just used to doing that. Give it a month, and after a month, if you don't see a change, then that shampoo may not be for you. But within a year, sorry, in a month, your body should have adjusted to that not being stripped of oils, and it should regulate itself. Well, after a month, I had no extra oils. I can go 2 days without looking like there's extra oils. It's absolutely amazing. I have no hair on the pillow, no having to clean the drain every time. And I go to the hairdresser and say, just cut off my broken, ends, and there's no broken ends. I'm going, well, let just chop some off. It's just very different. And my hair feels soft and doesn't feel like straw anymore. It's amazing.
Angie had the same results with that as well. You know, I've got on the other end of the spectrum, my hair, if I was to wash it too much, could be dry, but I've noticed the difference, obviously, with the Essante shampoo, the mango berry shampoo. But Angie, like you, would have more of an oily hair, and she would have hair at the bottom of the drain and all that. And
Mhm.
that's really pretty much gone away since
Yep.
using switching
It's
to the Essante hair
yeah,
products. Yeah.
yeah. And my hair, I'm like, I have more hair. It's not thicker, but I have more hair, so therefore it feels thicker.
And that's such a scary thing because we talk about these toxic ingredients that people are putting in their products and using on a day-to-day basis. When
Mhm.
you really dive deep and really start looking at it, it's crazy. But the many of these toxic ingredients, besides having horrific health consequences, of course, which is very important, but when you start researching it, some of these ingredients in the moisturizing lotions actually damage the skin. Some of
Mhm.
these moisturizing toxic ingredients they put in shampoos and conditioners actually damages your hair. So it's
Mhm.
quite incredible that these companies are one selling toxic products, but also products long term that are actually damaging the body parts that they're supposed to be protecting. It's quite extraordinary.
Yep. And they're getting away with it.
Yep. Yep, they are.
They're absolutely getting away with it, and it's a crime that they're getting away with it. But we have to do something about it, and because they're not.
That's where we come in. Absolutely.
So yeah. Now the other one I want to talk about is the wink mascara. Now, being a dancer, makeup is just part of the thing you do.
Right.
And putting on mascara was a 30-minute ordeal for me
Really?
because I had to open the mascara. I would have to stand with it open, and then I would sneeze about 30, 40 times because you can't put mascara on when you're sneezing because then it goes everywhere. So I had to wait till the sneezing stopped, which would be 30, 40 times of sneezing. Then I
Well,
would put it
hold
on.
on. The ingredients itself, just from opening it, and that
Just from opening it, I
it
would
would cause you
start
to
sneezing.
sneeze.
Yes.
Wow.
And I researched, by opening one thing, is it this one? No, is it this one? So I found out it was a mascara. And I tried many different brands of mascara. I would sneeze every single time I'd open it up. Once I then stopped sneezing, then I would put it on, and then my eyes would start watering. And then I was standing there with tissue and tapping. And then if anything, I had to correct my eye shadows and things like that. So it would take a long time to get ready for either competing or for judging, because I had to do the whole thing with the mascara. And also, what I had to do when I competed, I not only had false eyelashes at the top because I didn't have a lot of eyelashes, but I had to use the bottom because I had no eyelashes at the bottom. So I had to use bottom lashes and upper lashes. Now I take the wink, I put it on, no problem. My eyes doesn't water, and my eyelashes have grown. They're fuller and longer, and I actually have bottom lashes now. I didn't have bottom lashes. So I'm like, love the product.
That's something we don't talk about that often, but we do get that testimonial too. There's actually scientifically proven organic ingredients in there. Obviously, it's made from organic ingredients, it's toxic free, but above and beyond that, ingredients designed to show to help grow eyelashes. So that's
Mhm.
pretty awesome. And when I hear a story like you've had an experience, I don't consider you the unhealthy one. I consider you the actually healthy one. Your body was that in tune and that sensitive to those
Mhm.
toxic ingredients that it caused you to sneeze. Your body didn't want that on you or in you, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It was protesting. And because of the industry I was in, I couldn't really not do it.
Sure.
I just, that's what was involved in that industry. So, but now I have a solution, so again, find a solution to the issue. And that was Essante, had a solution to that issue. So, the last product I want to talk about is the W44 everything, the sanitizer.
Oh, okay.
I use it. After I use the vitamin C cleanser, I use it to on my face as a toner. I use it as a mouthwash. I use it if I can feel my throat starts getting scratchy. I spray it in there. Um, I'm like, if I have issues with my eyes, I spray it in my eyes. When I go on an airplane, I go on the seat, on everywhere around me. Um, and of course, I use it hand sanitizer. I use it for cleaning, for windows. I use it literally for everything. And the joke in the house now is, if there's an issue, where's the sanitizer?
Right.
Um, my Bear, my dog, I clean his ears with it. If he gets a scratch or anything, I clean it with that. So the sanitizer is a go-to if there's any issues. I'm like, that's the first thing that gets sprayed on anything. So yeah, but all of the products, I love every one of them, and every one of them has absolutely been a life changer for me.
That's awesome. Now,
So
since I've gotten to know you, I know that you've got this even bigger mission. You've got this village that you want to build. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, yeah. I actually just bought 5 acres
Oh,
last week.
congratulations.
And as I said earlier, I my dream was to be an architect. And when I was in Asia, I got certified as a feng shui consultant and learned about that. And when I moved to LA, I actually helped a developer develop houses that was feng shui correct so that he could sell it to the Asian population. And I actually got to tell the architects off and tell them what they could do and couldn't do. So I thought, you actually have more say if you are in a different part of the that whole industry. And so I got myself licensed as a contractor so that I can actually build the green sustainable houses. So I am in the process of building green sustainable houses that are using nothing but earth or hempcrete, or using things that are good for Mother Nature and not destroying it. One of the big thing being a licensed contractor and being in the green industry is very often we promote gray water harvesting, which is basically taking water from the laundry and from the shower or bath and from the bathroom sinks, and diverting that into the landscape, like fruit trees or whatever have you. And so therefore it's important that they are using things that are non-toxic. And that's again where Essante comes in, that it's sort of making the full circle of, you don't put anything in the water that is not able to go out with the plants, that's not biodegradable and not doing harm to the plants, and then you eat it. And so you creating that whole circle is what my mission is. So I will be building sample houses, and everybody that comes and stay in the sample houses are only allowed to use Essante products. We will provide them with Essante products so they can actually experience the products and not do harm to our environment that we have on the land. So that is my dream, to build a way for people to experience green living in every aspect.
I so appreciate you saying that because I've always been inspired, and Angie and I'll even watch some YouTube channels on, people that are trying to live off the grid and they're making their own homes and they've got solar and all that, and they've got gray water tanks. But you're right. I mean, if they're using toxic products
Hmm.
and it's going in their gray water, and then it's going in their plants and their community farms, and then they're eating it as well.
Hmm.
So you're
Yep.
right. When you say full circle, your village is really going to be truly, truly green living from start to finish, backwards and
Yep.
forwards.
Yep. Yep. And I really feel that um, because right now, if you tell people about living organic and living sustainable and green, they don't really understand what that means. They think it's using foam and pouring in concrete and creating this total, I would call it a coffin, because the walls doesn't breathe and toxic air gets in there, and they're not really understanding the whole green way of being. So um, this is going to be an education, a way for people to learn about green in every way, every aspect, every step of the way.
Well, I'm looking forward to having a field trip to your village when it's done.
You
For
absolutely
sure.
welcome. Look forward to having you.
That's wonderful. Well, last but not least, let me ask you this. How are you marketing your Asante Organics business?
I market it in every way that I'm doing. I live it. And with every if I'm on Facebook a lot, I've marketed on Facebook. When I used to be on Craigslist a lot, I marketed on Craigslist. When I was on eBay a lot, I marketed on eBay. So I do everywhere. I do now. I do it with the my contracting business, with the dance business. So I do it in every way that I see I have a connection with people. I I hear people talking about an issue. I will say, I have a solution. I give them the options, this is the solution. And then whether people will join me or not, that's up to them. Again, Bob Proctor always said, some will, some won't, so what next? And so it's really putting it out to as many ways that I can possibly think. I put ads in magazines. I put ads in programs. I talk about it. I have it everywhere. And when people come to the house, they see the products everywhere. Um, so I do it in every way, just by living. I used to do Uber driving, and I had ads on there, and when they would come in, they would have this hand sanitizer there, or the sanitizer right there, and I would have the power pops right there. So I had everything right there, that so they could get a little experience while I was taking them somewhere. So I would say I do it in every way that I can see an avenue of advertising it.
Very
Um,
good.
I've just done a website, and I help my downline get a website, and I do blogs, and we put together our blog, and so trying to get a blog going so that we all have um, a blog, and we have stories from different people on that blog. So I would say every way that I can think of, I I promote it.
That's great. Build your business always and in all ways. Very good. And being a
There you
product of the
go.
product.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, this has been such a pleasure to chat with you, as it always is, but now we've actually recorded it. So that's good. So people get to be like a fly on the wall and hear our conversation. That's great. And we'll
Yep.
share this recording for sure. Do you have anything else to add before we end the recording?
The only thing I would say is, if you are looking at this and you're looking at this for the first time, you know, be open. Don't do ridicule like, it's normal and first instinct for most people to do. Look at it and do the research, find out what is network marketing, and you know, is it a fair business structure? And then look at the products. I'm like, these products are bar one, I'm like, they are better than anything you'll find on the market, but do your own research. Um, do the research into what does these toxic chemicals that are in the personal care products now, what do they do to you? And then make a decision. Are you wanting to continue on that, or are you wanting to make a change? And then get back with the person that suggested you to look at this, and talk with them, and join us. Join us in this mission of changing the world to be a better, greener place, a place that will be a good place for the future children, their children, and their children. Let's leave this a better place than it was when we came here.
Beautiful. I love it. So thank you so much, Maya. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you.
joining us. And we look forward to sharing again with you real soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.